It's about what's being said here, mates. Um, David Icke, Icke, is at the helm here. Freedom-loving journalist, fighter across the UK, but this is just, it ain't much different over here. They're just using our dope over there. Pay attention.
Thank you. I've nothing really to add on that.
This is a drug that causes respiratory distress. It makes it hard to breathe. It gives you the symptoms that have been alleged to be those of COVID-19. And it has been used as a treatment for COVID-19 by the National Health Service in Britain. And what goes on the death certificate at the end of this story, COVID-19.
And during the pandemic, there are some key people, one of them who's just left office, who have expedited this process, who have ordered additional doses of midazolam, for example, as I mentioned earlier, 2 million doses, by the way. And they have used the pandemic to increase the number of deaths significantly.
It's encouraged doctors to end patients' lives prematurely, without their consent and without their knowledge. Patients are usually sedated with morphine and midazolam via the use of a syringe driver and are deprived of nutrition and fluids until they eventually die from starvation or dehydration. Involuntary euthanasia en masse.
About the midazolam that's been purchased from France and the huge amounts and where it's gone, and we're actually following that up now with our barrister and Matt Hancock. That's the kind of thing we want on this page. Did you all come out when the do not resuscitate order was on the elderly and the elderly were being euthanized? Yes, they were. In the care homes and hospitals, when the sales of morphine and midazolam during that first lockdown went through the roof, and it states, there's all government documents how we purchased all of the midazolam that France had. Where's the police investigation for the midazolam sales and how many of our elderly were given this cocktail because it's used in end-of-life care, anesthesia, yes, and the sales went up. Where are the cops investigating that? Nowhere.
Has done an absolutely spectacular job getting to the bottom of what she said to me right at the beginning. She believed to be evidence that they were bumming off people in care homes using midazolam. Well, a few days after it was confirmed that we can now prove the same kind of bulletproof correlations again and again between the death spikes in the care homes and the administration of midazolam as we can with the COVID vaccines and the supposed COVID death spikes. Since that happened, Hancock's resigned.
It's about a drug called midazolam, which is used in the execution process in the United States. And it's a sedative which, if given in big enough amounts, will kill you. And the UK government in the spring of 2020 stockpiled years of supply of this midazolam. And it was used on old people in the April period and before and after, but crucially in that April period. It was used on old people in unprecedented amounts. That's why they stockpiled it, because that's what they were going to do. And vast numbers of old people died. And what went on their death certificate when they died of murder? COVID-19. Policino said, midazolam depresses respiration and it hastens death. It changes end-of-life care into euthanasia. This is the very drug they stockpiled in the same period. Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary in Britain, who ordered vast amounts of an end-of-life drug called midazolam and then used it in quantities never seen before. And all these old people in the care homes and elsewhere that it was used upon were said to have died of COVID-19 and not the midazolam. And that was called the first wave.
Now that I know what's going on with elderly and disabled and syringe drivers, that means a totally different thing to me now, despite having a good experience in the past. That means something totally different to me now. And if you don't know what I mean about what's going on with elderly and disabled people and syringe drivers, you will do. There will be nurses, doctors, consultants, healthcare assistants right now that know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you are complicit. You are complicit in something very, very sinister, and it will be coming out. It will be. The public will know. You know what I'm talking about.
All I do is I'll leave you with something to research, if I may. I know that we need to be careful what we say.
Yes, please.
If we search the drug midazolam.
Yeah, let's leave that. We're not a medical show, so we don't talk about that. But thank you for bringing it up. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, just really about the use of midazolam.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. I've just said we're not a medical show, so we can't do that. So anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just want to talk really about the loss of our loved ones.
Good, we can talk about that.
And I think it's something a bit more sinister gone on.
Well, I think there's very sinister in a sense that they didn't care. For example, if you were in a care home, they let you die, they put a no resus on you, they didn't send doctors, and they didn't bring ambulances, and they didn't even try ventilators, they just let them die.
It's not that easy to die, actually. It's not that easy to die, and therefore, search midazolam.
Okay, I've asked you 3 times not to, sir, so we'll move on. Thank you, mate. Okay, I appreciate it. We're not talking medical stuff on here, but I appreciate that, and you can talk about anything within the rules.
Now, I'm encouraging everybody, if you have evidence of a crime, and we all do, to bring it with you. Anything you want. Freedom of information requests, evidence that midazolam has been misused for euthanasia, anything. If you can make it personal against these criminals and tie something on a personal level to it, fantastic. These and this is the information we need to bring. We are going to lay it at the feet in a symbolic gesture to the police.
Mr. Hancock and all of your mates and Mr. Fauci and Gates and all of you people, you psychopaths, you must go before Nuremberg type trials. You must be jailed for the rest of your life. And we, the people, must not rest until you do.
Okay, brethren and subscribers, wish you all the best.